Hello, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Elisa Maria Designs. Welcome back if you are back, and welcome if you are new. I am happy that you found my channel. We are at the end of week 4 of summer with the masters, and this is my canvas for the event. It is a very long panel from Diamond Painting Shop, where I get most of my Alphonse Mucha panels, and this is Night's Rest from Times of the Day. What I'm working on here is just the border. I remember when I left off last week that I had said, I think I'm just going to do the border next week. And I just switched pens. I was there's like these 2 bars that go straight down. One is like antique gold, and then a black, and then like a very light mint color in the background, and in the middle, I'm sorry, not in the background. And I thought I was just going to use my multi-placer to come straight down those lines. And while it always seems to me, and I'm learning as you are in your diamond painting, that lines are not really that easy to do. It's like, oh, well, I'll just do this big chunk of color here, and it's just lines going straight down. And I am also working on a custom kit that has a lot of color blocking, so I'm learning a lot from that kit also. So I decided not to use my multi-placer and just come straight down on a line, because it was making me a little batty. The lines were not really straight, and they were looking a little lopsided, and it would take a lot of me just fiddling around with it to make it straight. So I decided to change my placer and just do these 3 bars that are going straight down north to south. And I'm doing every other row. And I'm also noticing that this is a diamond painting canvas. And with the last 3 canvases that I have gotten from Diamond Painting Shop, there isn't a residue of glue that kind of seeps out the end of the canvas. You know, we have to put our washi tape there. The glue actually ends where the drill space ends. There's no edging of glue around this canvas. And I thought, well, let me pick up my other placer. And I did switch to a placer that has wax in it, because the putty is still getting stringy. And I could pick up as many drills as I want and place them down, because it's only going to go up to the edge. So I picked up a placer that was a number 7 placer, and so I'm able to place 3 and then just move over to the next 3, and I have 1 left over. So that was really nice, really nice. I really like that detail about Diamond Painting Shop's canvas. So we left off last week in our master class with Sarah Bernhardt, who was at the time a very famous actress. And what is her connection to Alphonse Mucha? Well, in December of 1894, Alphonse Mucha's career took a very dramatic turn, much like the actress, that would establish him as a leading figure of the Art Nouveau movement. And this breakthrough came through his association with the renowned actress Sarah Bernhardt. Opportunity to work with the actress came during the Christmas period of 1894, where Mucha was working at a print shop correcting proofs. And the renowned actress, Sarah Bernhardt, urgently needed a new poster for her play, Gismonda. Gismonda was playing at the Theatre de la Renaissance in Paris, And the original artist who would do the poster was unavailable. And Sarah Bernhardt asked Mucha to create the poster on a extremely tight deadline. The creation of the Gizmonda poster was, for lack of a better word, revolutionary. It featured a full-length figure of Sarah Bernhardt dressed in an elaborate Byzantine-inspired costume holding a palm branch. And the design was characterized by its elegant, elongated form and intricate detailing. Mucha incorporated his distinctive style with ornate patterns, flowing lines, and a halo-like arch framing Bernhardt's head, reminiscent of religious iconography, which we see again with Klimt, who was also influenced by the Byzantine mosaics. And there's, on the most recent diamond painting that I worked on, which was again from Diamond Painting Shop, and their rendition of Woman in Gold, there is a halo behind Adela's head. Just checking in here to see how I'm coming along. And I am right in between the knee and the calf. And that I'm doing those two lines that are in between that one chunk of diamond painting panel, fixing my edges. And I can do that very easily without getting any glue on my aligner, because there's not a glue edge, once again, on the overhang. And coming back to Mucha's association with Sarah Bernhardt. So after the poster for Gizmonda, it was, the immediate impact was that the poster was an instant sensation. I would have liked to have seen what the artist prior to Mucha was creating for Sarah Bernhardt, because this poster and its impact captivated the public. They loved the novel aesthetic, and I believe that the posters at the time were just basically and sharply in contrast to the more conventional posters. Even the critics praised its beauty and originality, and Mucha's unique and original talent was being recognized. And from that poster, and the way fate would have it, the artist, the original artist that did her posters, was unavailable. And this resulted in a long-term collaboration with Sarah Bernhardt. And it was quoted that she had said to him, I predict that you are going to be very famous. And she was right. Again, I'm just looking to see what I am doing here so that I can not only do my masterclass, but also explain to you a little bit about the diamond painting. I'm coming into the next bar that is next to this bar of lines. It's just one single line of black, and then a single line of mint, and then another single line of black. And again, color blocking and things like lines I thought were going to be very easy, and I thought, wow, this is great. There's a lot of color blocking, but you get a little I think it's your vision. You're kind of just looking at this one color. It's kind of like when you do white drills. I think that they are the hardest to place in the color blocking, because you really get to see the gaps. And that's what I'm doing here. I put my pen down, I get my liner, and what I'm doing here as I go up and down that row is I'm buddying up the drills. I'm making sure that each drill has a buddy right next to each other. And I can do that very easily here. I'm not going all the way down to the canvas, because you'll see what I do when I go all the way down to the canvas, and that is to place the cellophane back on top so that I can, if I need to really, if it really is a little wonky in the line, because the glue, as soon as you put that drill down, it starts to cure. And if you have a drill that just won't stay in place, you have to pull it up and you have to put it back down again, because the glue is like a rubber band. It's just not going to let go. This is my second Mucha panel that I am doing, and here I have that problem here with these 3 or 4 drills there, and I am using a designated cuticle nipper. It has a jaw on it that is flat, and so I'm able to very easily pull up drills. And I started to use cuticle nippers when I was doing an area, and it was a color blocking area, thank God. And not that it would be any problem for those cuticle nippers, but I had placed the wrong color in a block on the canvas, and they all had to come up. And so it's just easier for me to, and it will be for you too, to use a cuticle nipper, and just very easily, 1, 2, 3. I'm not struggling. I don't like the tweezers. They're very pointy. I'm always afraid of making a hole in my canvas or stabbing myself, which I've done numerous times. It's like an inside joke on this channel, how many times I've either dropped those tweezers and I am like, there you go again. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if it's the weather. I have pointed out that when, the weather is humid like this, the drills tend to stick together. Or I think I may have just been coming into a batch of black drills, which we know are, tend to be trashy. And I happened to look down at my tray and I saw like this black dust. I don't know if you'll see me, do it here, but I do get up and I do, what am I pointing out here? I do get up and I do clean my tray out because there was so much black. Oh, I know what I was doing here. I know what it was. They really were getting a little trashy. And this was a different bag. So there were 3 bags of black that came with this canvas. And I had filled up my tray and I had filled up my container. And I just wanted to get that extra bag out of my way in my drill case, because there's not a lot of room in my drill case for like anything extra. And that was the bag that I had opened up, and when I had placed those drills down, there was trash underneath the drill that I didn't see, and when I placed it down, they all just collapsed off the line. I'm not a big fan of using a multi-placer that has more than, I would say, 7 drills, because what I find is that you really can't align the drills in their proper drill space. It will look like you are, but they will be a little bit, just a hair off, where you have to go in and you have to realign them. I don't know what I was tapping my fingers about there. I know it was something. And we're coming into, this looks like white, but it's actually a very light, it can look baby blue, it can look a little minty, and I believe, I'm not going to use, there you go, we're back down again. That's why I have a lot of drill pens out, and I'm using one of my favorite ones right now, and that's why I'm kind of like, I'm continuing to keep talking here. Oh no, yep, that's just a 4 placer and has some wax in it, and I'd rather go down this line 4 at a time, knowing that I could see the first drill drop down correctly in its drill space, and the 4th drill will also be dropping into its drill space. And when you go into a larger placer, a placer with 5, 6, 7, 8, I noticed that the drills aren't really dropping into the proper drill space. They're cut it's just by like a hair, but enough that you have to go in and adjust them. So I'd rather just take my time And I find that I'm actually, moving along faster. It's not about moving along faster for me. It's more about just staying in this flow. Diamond painting is a meditative art. Everything has been mapped out for you. You have a canvas that you didn't have to do any work on. You didn't have to sketch it out or paint it. You have all the symbols designated for you. You have all your drills. You have your tools. There's not a lot of thinking that you have to do. You know where you're going. You know what drill goes where, but you're still being very deliberate. But you're also being very mindful, and you could, because all those other factors are taken care of for you, you could just kind of, zone out and, still aware, still mindful of what you're doing, still seeing this beauty unfold. But you are in a meditative state. And I'm switching. I had a drill that I had to take out. I think that they were actually, it either had a tag or it was stuck together. And I believe that's what's going on here. Okay, so as I get to that stylus that I have coming up, I believe it might be coming up shortly. I wanted to point it out because it's actually a stylus that I received through, let me see here, Dreamer Designs. And when you order a canvas from them, they will give you a stylus that has a cone shape on the bottom and a 3-placer on the top. I use that specifically for AB drills, and I don't put any wax or putty in the cone shape. I don't know that there was no instructions with this stylus, but that's how I use it. And so I keep a spray bottle on my desk. It's a mister, and you'll see me mist some water onto the cellophane part of the canvas. I'm just using that as like a little palette so that I can dip the cone into the water and single place my drills very easily. No wax, no putty. I don't know why I didn't just just continue to use this pen in this extreme humidity and heat that we're having. But I just want to give you like a little note when you see like, well, what is she spraying and why is she doing that? Coming back to Mucha's collaboration with Sarah Bernhardt, she signed a 6-year contract with Mucha from the, following the success of the Gizmonda poster. And it led to numerous collaborations for her plays and posters, stage sets, costumes, merchandising. He designed posters for several of her plays. What I'm doing here is, so this middle panel where you see the gown there's 2 symbols that are right next to each other. Talk about having fun. It's an X and a plus sign. And I really need to concentrate on those 2 symbols, and there's no flow to them. They're 2 symbols. There's a big chunk of them, and they're very much confetti. There's not like a row of X's or a row of plus signs. So trying to break this down, I wanted to do this large area, but what I'm going to do is carve myself out an area where there is flow, so that will then create these little islands that still need to be filled in. So actually what I'm doing is like I'm creating also these islands where I'm carving out, and there goes the spray bottle, there goes the water, there's that tool that I was telling you about, that little cone shape, and all it needs is water. So I'm tapping into that little mist. There's just some droplets on the cellophane, And I'm kind of tapping off the water too. I should have had a little tissue, but it works just as well. And I have no problem picking up drills one by one. And I'm just doing that with a little bit of water that I tapped in. And if it starts to be where I can't pick them up, I just tap back in the water and begin to pick up drills again. It works brilliantly for ABs because you're picking up your ABs with this water and with this cone. I think you can probably even pick them up without water. The water comes from when you use a wax. If you wanted to pick up like 3 ABs, then you would have to dip the wax placer into the water so that you can still pick up the ABs, but they won't stick to the wax. So I'm carving out these little islands here so that I can create, I guess maybe they would be, if they're the little islands, I guess everything around it would be like this ocean area that's left in the background of primarily X's and plus signs. But I think when you have an area like this, now I can see it very well here. Through the camera's eye, you always see better. So if you're looking at your canvas and you're like, oh, I really don't have anything like that on my canvas, just stop for 10 seconds and use your camera to just take a little video. I would take a video of the area that you are working on and then go back and look, because the camera's eye picks up so much detail, and you can see that this is the folds in her gown, this is where the shading is, and that's exactly where I am going to be going. Besides the posters that Mucha designed for several of Bernhardt's plays, which I'm going to put up towards the end so I don't have to keep stopping and putting up posters. He also designed, in addition to the posters, he designed stage sets and costumes, which further showcased his versatility and his creativity. He also produced merchandising. He produced promotional materials and merchandise featuring Bernhardt, contributing to her brand, along with his own growing reputation. I can't imagine, I did a lot of plays when I was living in New York. My girlfriend was a costume designer, and so she was responsible for the actresses when they would run off stage and getting them dressed. And she would, had these afternoon plays where she would say, we need people to fill in the seats. There was that period where the Broadway went dark and they needed to bring people back in, and actors just want to perform for an audience. And I saw a lot of plays. I was able to walk stages. I was able to see, and the stages in New York are not big. If you're wondering, they're tiny. They kind of remind me of like high school stage sets. But what they do is remarkable. And then I was able to take background tours with her, go see my girlfriend, Amalia, and, look at makeup and wig designs and costumes. And she worked on fabulous plays. But I've never seen anything that would like captivate me. I can't even imagine, it's the late 1800s and you have this beautiful work, these beautiful posters that are, created by Mucha, and probably he did the pamphlets and information. I mean, these were works of art. I'm sure, you went home. I'm sure, a Victorian woman maybe would have clipped this art, maybe would have framed it, and everyone was just in love with Sarah Bernhardt. She was the it girl of that time. So merchandising and promotional materials. There was one poster, and I will put it up, where it's just of her face. It is absolutely stunning. And next week, I'm going to be getting into Mucha's photography, which photography is just my wheelhouse. I have on this phone alone 40,000 pictures, and that's a scale down. That's an edit. I can't seem to delete any of them because I've deleted the ones that I didn't want, and I've kept the ones that I love. And that's going to be my wheelhouse next week. Mucha's photography. And I just love the way I'm watching the placing here, and I'm loving the way that those folds are coming in to the gown, and the gown is starting to come to life. The collaboration with Bernhardt solidified most definitely Mucha's position as a preeminent artist in the Art Nouveau movement. The Gizmondo poster and subsequent works influenced graphic designers, influenced advertising, blending fine art with commercial appeal. The Mucha-Bernhardt partnership, the Mucha-Bernhardt partnership is celebrated as one of the most successful artist-patron relationships in art history, highlighting the synergy between visual and performing arts. Alphonse Mucha's work with Sarah Bernhardt not only propelled his career, but also helped define the visual language of an entire artistic movement. His posters remain iconic examples of Art Nouveau, celebrated for their beauty, elegance, and innovation. Here is a sneak peek of Mucha's photography, and that is Sarah Bernhardt, and I believe that she was posing for Gizmondo. She has the flowers in her hair, and as she is holding the palm leaf, even though the poster is, she's facing in a different direction, I believe. Let's get that poster up. No, she is not facing the other way, but there is the photograph and the inspiration, and there is this gorgeous poster that catapulted Mucha as the leader of the Art Nouveau movement, breaking into artists that were there before him. Probably most notably is Gaudi, who was an architect and still under construction in Barcelona, is the, don't let me murder this, hold on. The Sagrada Familia, the famous cathedral in Barcelona. From 1883 to 1926, Gaudi was working on this cathedral. It is still not done. It is still under construction, following his original design and concept. And the date for completion is 2026, which would mark the 100-year anniversary of Gaudi's death. I just watched Vicky Cristina Barcelona, and one of the first things that Vicky and Cristina decide to do when they travel to Barcelona is look at the Gaudi Cathedral. A photograph could never do the cathedral any justice, and so I found a link. I think it's of a little mini reel of the cathedral that I will put in the description down below. If Gizmondo was the start of the American tour, this is the poster for the end of the tour, and I just absolutely adore it. I adore the color palette, and just her all in that cream. Very beautiful poster. Here again, we have another one of Mucha's photographs of Bernhardt in costume for Hamlet. I adore this poster. I adore the chocolate browns and hunter greens, but I love the way the poster is separated into 3 sections, that rich red Right on the bottom is her name, theater star, Bernhardt. Beautiful poster. There's rich golds and browns. Love that poster. Where to next? Well, this is 3 posters. The one on the left is similar to the end of the tour, the American tour. And then it says World Tour Seasons 19, 14, 15, and 16. Love, just again, the roses are now white. There's stars in the background. Beautiful poster, but it's that center poster that I love. Just the name on the poster and that little carve out of her face. That's kind of like a teardrop when you look at it. And the poster on the right, again, for the Theatre de Renaissance. Beautiful poster. There's so many. I'm stopping and starting this film to decide which one I'm going to actually put up. There's just so many. I wish I could make these posters bigger so that you can see the detail. Maybe it will come across differently than me just looking at it on my phone, but I love this poster also. I love the paisley background and the paisley that's incorporated onto the costume, and that panel in the middle underneath the feet. It's just a work of art. And then her name is around the border, and the dragon on top of it all. So much detail. Gorgeous. This poster is from La Tosca, and I can absolutely see the Japanese wood blocking influence in this poster, from the font to the pink fans going around. The flowing, swirling hair, the halo in the back of the head, her name the way that it's spelled out, the font used, and the stars in the background, quintessential Mucha. So much Japanese wood blocking influence for me in this one. A poster, again, Theatre de la Renaissance, The Samaritan, the color palette, those soft muted tones, and the way that the color fades out in the background. Again, the halo in the background, behind the head, the name, the font, those pink kind of cherry blossom colored fans that are in the corner. I love this poster. It's softer, but it's beautiful. And the mosaic in the background of her head has that Byzantine influence to it. So many beautiful posters of Mucha. I don't even know that I grabbed them all before this video, and this time together is coming to an end. Another week, and I'm just looking at the folds of the gown, how they are coming to life here. I don't know if I'm going to be continuing on with this panel today, or just go into my filming for Self-Care Sunday. Oh, the pen is down. I will see you, as always, in the next one.